The Greeks were among the first learned men of astronomy. These great philosophers gave the world many profound conceptions of Earth and space. Plato said, "I have found the Earth to be the perfect shape of a cube, standing in the center of the universe, with all other heavenly bodies scattered round and about." Anaxagoras had this to say, "Being in the center of the universe, the Earth is assailed by the rotating ether, which tears away bits of Earth, flinging them outward, setting them afire, creating stars and planets." Then there was Aristarchus.
Gentlemen, I disagree. The sun is obviously in the center, with the Earth and other planets traveling in circular paths. And thus the sun...
Finally, there was Ptolemy.
"Learned men of science, I have listened to all your arguments. I now decree that our great Earth stands immovable as the hub of the universe, the supreme center of intelligent thinking."
Thus, Ptolemy's decree was blindly accepted as the law of science for over 1,000 years. Free and logical thought was stifled by a black period of stupidity, superstition, and sorcery. With the Renaissance came a learned monk, Nicolás Copérnico. He proved mathematically that the Earth was not the center of the universe, but was merely one of many planets circling the glowing sun.
Nicolás Copernicus was a distinguished churchman and humanist intellectual from Poland. He had advised his government on currency reform and the Pope on calendar reform. For the last 20 years of his life, roughly, he devoted himself to the modern proposition that nature must be simple. Why were the paths of the planets so complicated? Because he decided, we look at them from the place where we happen to be standing, the Earth. Like the pioneers of perspective, Copernicus asked, why not look at them from another place? There are good Renaissance reasons, emotional rather than intellectual reasons, that made him choose the golden sun as the other place. So in 1543, at the age of 70, Copernicus finally braced himself to publish his mathematical description of the heavens, what he called De Revolutionibus Orbium Celestium, the revolution of the heavenly orbs, as a single system moving around the sun. The word revolution has an overtone now which is not astronomical, and that's not an accident. It comes from this time and this book. Copernicus died in the same year. It's said that he only saw a copy of his book once, when it was put into his hands on his deathbed.
Hard to believe, but in about 1510, one of the most significant developments of the Renaissance took place not in glorious Rome, or in Venice, or in Florence, but here, in this sleepy little town on the Baltic coast in Poland.
While Italy was the centre of Renaissance art and literature, a local priest made Poland the focal point for science. Nicolás Copérnico came here in the mid-16th century after studying in Italy and took services at Frombork Cathedral. But he spent most of his time watching the sky and studying the movements of planets. In this tower in the cathedral grounds, Copernicus made an extraordinary discovery that led to science's first major challenge to Christian belief.
So, Margaret, what was the standard dogma in astronomy at the time that Copernicus began to study astronomy?
The Earth was thought to be surrounded by unchanging stars, and Christians believed it was the center of the universe. They thought the sun and the planets circled round a supposedly stationary Earth.
But in his study, Copernicus wrote a book that argued against this Christian view. He claimed that the Earth was actually one of the planets orbiting the sun.
Copernicus finished his masterpiece in 1533, and he knew his ideas were revolutionary.
Co spowoduje opublikowanie tego dzieła?
The Vatican realized that Copernicus's speculations contradicted the biblical view that the Earth is stationary, at the center of the universe. But it was willing to tolerate his ideas, for now.
Kościół katolicki to silna.
The Catholic Church was a powerful institution. How could it be threatened by one person, even if his ideas were revolutionary?
Rewolucyjnymi poglądami. A może liczył
The Pope was hoping that despite all his research, Copernicus's conclusions would be proved
To
wrong.
nieprawda, to co sobie wymyślił.
But there's no doubt that here in Fromburg, in the heart of the church, Copernicus planted a seed of tension between religious authority and human inquiry, which has grown over the following 500 years. It was others who followed Copernicus, who invented science to test his views, who suffered for championing his dangerous idea.
Copernicus's new theory soon pitted science and Christianity against each other in the scientific revolution's darkest hour.